a bit jet lagged and sick this week, and so I woke up at 5 a.m. and made some tea and decided to just grab a coffee and head to the cafe. I'll be giving week by week updates. Subscribe to stay tuned. We've been interviewing a lot of founders over the past week, and a lot of them have been saying similar things in terms of user interviews and reaching out to people to validate your idea. They've been saying that first, the approach is that you don't really want to reach out to people just to sell to them. You want to reach out to them and say, hey, I want to learn about what you're doing. I want to learn about some of the things that you've been encountering in the past. Really just trying to learn more about what they do, but also dive deep into the problems that they're facing. Over the past week, you can try to see what problems they encounter on a daily basis. You can go through their day and see what kind of outcomes or problems that they face and see which ones are the most frequent and try to really dig into the root cause of the urgent problems that they face. The problems that they care about the most and are willing to pay for. Really, the only way to validate an idea is trying to find problems that people are willing to pull out their wallet for right away. And so that is one key approach that we have been taking with our user interviews. Secondly, it's also just as important to find some sort of distribution channel that you resonate with and that would be effective for your given ICP or ideal customer profile. For example, maybe 5 years ago, LinkedIn outreach would have been a very good tool for B2B SaaS, but these days, the founders that we've been talking to have found that LinkedIn outreach is maybe not the best place to try to reach out to people. In fact, these days, a lot of people seem to be gravitating towards YouTube or even just building an audience on x.com, such as one of my founders, Encore, or even being engaged in Reddit subreddits. And these distribution channels take time to build up, and really you just need to be able to post or engage with them frequently, and eventually every time you make a post or make a video, you'll get a little bit better, and maybe in a few months you'll become an expert in the channel that you are. And so when you do decide to finally launch, you'll have that audience to reach out to. For us, after conducting a few user interviews with founders and people thinking of doing their own startup, we decided to move in the direction of building an AI business copilot, which would enable small teams and solo entrepreneurs to build out their business. We are exploring a few possible starting wedges, so stay tuned to see what we end up going with. Because our plan is to work with a few beta testers and iterate quickly on our product, we need to build an MVP fast. Our chosen tech stack is going to be on the front end, Typescript, React, Tailwind, CSS, and Vite. We don't have too much experience with the front end, so we're relying on Claude quite a bit here to get the code out faster, but also relying on templates to structure the code and look for best practices from people who are experts on the front end. On the back end, all founders have experience with Python, so we chose Python and FastAPI to build the back end. FastAPI because it is fast to build APIs, as in the name. For the database, we chose Supabase. It has an underlying Postgres database and natively supports user auth. So we don't really have to implement that, but the downsides we found are that you have to rely on SQL triggers to extend the users table if you want to work with it, which is fine, but Supabase doesn't have repeatable migrations like Flyway does, which is unfortunate, but there seems to be some GitHub issue asking for it today. In terms of deployments, we haven't looked too much into it, but the front runners seem to be Vercel or DigitalOcean due to ease of use and fast deployments. Pricing could be an issue, but that's not really our concern. Our concern is speed right now. The reality is that most of my time is spent in my room working alone, and probably will continue to be that way for a while. We plan on still talking to more users and talking to more founders and following up with some of the potential users that we've talked to. And we plan to do a soft launch with some beta testers as soon as possible, so stay tuned to see our progress and to see where we go. See you then.